Odată ce o țară de tranzit de droguri devine una de consum, nu durează mult până când sistemele de justiție, de poliție și politicul devin penetrate de traficanți. Și odată ce se întâmplă asta, până la un stat narco, citez din personajul pe care urmează să-l vedeți, mai este doar un pas. Este avertismentul așadar lui Mike Vigil, fost șef al Operațiunilor Internaționale al DEA, care a lucrat sub acoperire timp de 15 ani în Mexic și Columbia. L-a arestat pe traficantul Ramon Mata Balestero și a lucrat în operațiunile de prindere ale traficanților El Chapo și Pablo Escobar. Într-un interviu pentru NewsHour with CNN, spune cum a răzbunat uciderea colegului și prietenului său, agentul DEA Kiki Camarena, care apare și în serialul Narcos. Mike Vigil se află în România la inițiativa Colpres pentru a participa la o serie de conferințe privind războiul împotriva drogurilor.
I worked in Mexico in the 1970s. When the Guadalajara cartel was the most powerful cartel in Mexico. And I think that pretty much I was protected because there were times where, you know, I could have easily lost my life.
As it happened with your friend, Kiki Camarena.
Kiki Camarena and I worked together. We worked certain operations with him. And I was assigned to Hermosillo, Sonora, Mexico at the time. He was assigned to Guadalajara. And he was supposed to meet with his wife for lunch one day. He walks out of the consulate, and these gunmen grab him at gunpoint, force him into a car. They took him to a house in Guadalajara that belonged to Rafael Caro Quintero, and they torture him. And I mean, the torture was brutal. And what they wanted to know is what investigations DEA was working on in Mexico. They wanted to know who the informants were. So they wanted all this information. And eventually somebody hit him with a blunt instrument on the head, a hammer or a pipe, and crushed his skull and killed him. But what it was is that when he was kidnapped, I was working in Colombia, and I was working in the coastal city of Barranquilla. So we started a worldwide manhunt to capture his killers. And my task was to get their source of supply, who was Honduran by the name of Juan Ramon Mata Ballesteros, who was married to a Colombian woman.
While being undercover, have you met Pablo Escobar, El Chapo?
And I'm the one that developed more intelligence on Pablo Escobar because, you know, before that, you know, we really didn't have a lot of information on Pablo Escobar. We didn't know who the members of the Medellin cartel were, who his family members were, nothing like that. And we started to compile a lot of intelligence. And then we brought in a military aircraft called Centraspike that was full of electronic equipment that had the capability to intercept telephones, to intercept radios. And he would communicate with his family over radios, and that's how we were able to pinpoint his location when the time came to capture him.
Working for DEA, have you heard Romania being a transit country, as you said, the cartels bringing drugs to Western Europe through Romania?
Yes, because you have Romanians that live in Mexico, they live in Colombia, and then you have Mexicans here, so they have formed, you know, somewhat of a connection there to bring drugs into Romania, the port of Constanța, and you know airports and what have you. But keep in mind that once the cartels start to open up a small stream of drugs, it's quickly going to move into a river of drugs, and then you're going to have major problems. And unfortunately, when you talk about drug trafficking activities, it goes hand in hand with corruption and then also violence. And we've seen a lot of countries that started off, you know, like transshipment points like Honduras, and all of a sudden, you start to see more and more people corrupted, like people in industry that launder money, security forces, the judicial system, and politicians. And once that happens, you're going to evolve very quickly into a narco state.